Hey. Okay, so I'm going to explain, today I'm going to show you how I improve the alignment of my sacroiliac joints, because that can significantly contribute to hip pain. And so in the pelvis, there are three joints which can misalign, okay? The two sacroiliac joints and the pubic symphysis, which a lot of people forget about. To realign this structurally, what I do is I sit on a bike seat back to front, and I sit down on the bike seat back to front like this, and that opens and closes this joint and can reset the alignment. I can show you guys how to do that in another video if you're interested, but today I'm going to talk about how I improve the alignment of these two joints here. Okay, so I had a really bad snowboarding accident at the beginning of 2005, and I didn't realize what was wrong with me for a long time. And then, like, after a few years, I figured out myself that it was my pelvis and my spine was really badly misaligned from the accident. Anyway, for years I saw, physios and osteopaths and chiropractors, and I spent a house deposit looking for help, and they were pretty hopeless. But a couple of osteopaths helped me improve the alignment of my pelvis, and so I used to try and modify those techniques that I do them on myself, but to be honest, they weren't really that successful. And as time's gone on, I've come to realize, like, one of the simplest techniques, which is actually the most effective. So I'm going to share that with you today, okay, what has helped me, okay. But the problem with me is my joints are really loose from the accident, and it slips out all the time. And the other problem is, I could pretty much align my sacroiliac joints on a daily basis, but the other problem for me is, because of the accident, basically my spine does what this guy's spine does. It's really pushed over to one side and it's compressed, and for years I've worked to stretch that out and improve the alignment. It has improved somewhat, but it's still not 100%, because now I've got a problem with my hip. It's really hard for me to stretch my upper body without hurting the hip anyway. But basically, I think the important thing that a lot of people forget is that the sacrum is intricately connected with the spine. Okay, so you can't just work on realigning this, because you can't really work on realigning the sacroiliac joints without addressing the spine, okay? And for years I did try to do that, not understanding the connection, and it's just so obvious. When you look at it really, just on from a bone standpoint, you can see, I honestly, the longer I deal with this problem, the longer I believe that the sacrum is really, I'm a bit of a slave to the lumbar spine, to the spine. And, you see a lot of chiropractors or whatever say that, if you fix the alignment of the sacrum, you can improve the alignment of the spine. But in my opinion, I think it's the other way around, just my opinion, okay? So anyway, so when I work on, improving the alignment of my sacroiliac joints, I at the same time am working on my lumbar spine, and in particular my lumbar spine and upper spine, but in particular improving the lordosis of this lumbar spine, because if you improve the lordosis of this lumbar spine, you see, I think one reason why we get this scoliosis is because the spine becomes compressed, you see. So if we lengthen out that spine and stretch out that spine, it's much easier for these vertebrae to realign as well, and therefore not put so much compression stress on the sacrum, and therefore torsion the sacrum. I mean, you can really see it with this skeleton, okay? So, but I'm not going to talk about stretching the spine today, because, like I said, I try to I avoid a fair bit of that myself these days from my hip pain, but I do still do some because it's just so necessary, okay? But anyway, I'm not going to address that today, but what I am going to address is how I deal with the spine and the sacrum, or Realign sacroiliac joints, with a foam roller, and also a massage ball and a yoga block. Okay, so just a sec. So in order to know if you are actually having a positive effect on the alignment of your sacroiliac joints, it's handy to first know how out of alignment your pelvis is. And I'm going to show you, before I show you how I improve the alignment of my sacroiliac joints, how I see how misaligned my pelvis is, okay? So if you had somebody to help you, you could actually, you could lay on your stomach and you could get somebody to examine your sacrum and examine the torsion of the sacrum to see how much torsion is sitting in the sacrum by them getting above you and sticking their fingers on each side of the sacrum and moving your fingers down and seeing which finger sits higher. And you can do that over all the skin and the muscle, but you've got to push deep to make sure you're actually pushing on the bone and it's not muscle over the top looking like one side is higher or lower, okay? But if you don't have anyone to help you, you can just neglect the sacrum, what's going on in the sacrum, because you'll be able to see if you've got torsion in your sacrum with this other thing that you check first, okay? And that is these things here called the AS, anterior sacroiliac spines, okay? So you can easily see them on your body, okay? They're the lumps here, okay? There's distinct lumps on each side of your pelvis here, okay? So I'm going to just show you what I do, okay? So if I want to see how misaligned my pelvis is, okay, I lay down with I feel like this, with my knees together, okay, and like that, and I get my fingers on and I sit them on my ASIS, okay, and I look and I see, is one side sitting higher than the other, this way, okay. And the other thing you can do, you can get two chairs and a mirror above you, and you can look into the mirror and you can see if one ASIS is sitting lower than the other, you see. So on this it would be like, it'd be like this, whoops. You're just checking, got your fingers on here, and you're just checking which side is higher, and how it's orientated in the thing. It just helps you to see if there is, if they are sitting even or not. But even if they are sitting even, you can still have misalignment in your pelvis from the torsioning going on in your sacrum and also your pubic symphysis misalignment, okay? That joint at the front of your pelvis that I showed you before. Okay, so and the other thing to do, apart from checking the ASIS, is to look at your knee heights, okay? So put your feet together like this, okay? So they're even. Close your knees like this, okay? Okay, now, just got to fix this up. And then, so what I'm doing is I'm looking at my knee heights here and I'm seeing, does one knee sit higher than the other? Okay? And then, if I pull my knees back past 90 degrees like this, do one of my knees sit higher than the other? And does the high knee change? Like for me, because of residual torsion I can have in my, I can have my ASIS as sitting even, but I can look at my knee heights here and my left knee can still look lower than the right, and when I pull it back my left knee can look higher than the right. It's not too bad at the moment, okay, because I've been working on the alignment of my pelvis for a while now, so yeah, it's really pretty good this morning. But in the past it's been much lower on the left down here and much higher on the left when I pull back, and that will tell you that you don't have a leg length discrepancy, you have a pelvic misalignment problem, okay? So what I do generally is there's a fast way and a slow way to do this. You could skip this step if you want, but I find that it's interesting in the way it actually changes the flexibility in your spine and possibly helps to realign your sacroiliac joints. But like I said, without doing this step, I can get a very quick realignment of my sacroiliac joints just using a foam roller. But anyway, I'll do the whole way, okay, like the longer term way that helps, you know, like doing everything I do for my pelvis. So I use this thing called a Kong ball. It's a large rubber Kong ball you can get from the pet shop, and I use this foam roller and I get the ball under here and I literally massage around my sacroiliac joints and my lumbar spine with the ball. And the reason I sit the foam roller under it is because then I can drop my pelvis as well, and it just helps to, you're kind of stretching the spine while you're massaging it, you see, and you're stretching, you're getting more flexibility in your spine while you're massaging it, you see. So that's why I use the ball, and I go up as far as I can on each side. You can go all the way up, but because remember, we really need to work on the spine as well as on the sacrum. But you can just get a quick realignment in your sacroiliac joints just by working on your sacroiliac joints and using foam roller on your sacroiliac joints. But I say for more long-term stability, I think it's important, like I said, to use the ball and this, you know, all the way up the spine, okay? So, and then you massaging down below the sacroiliac joints too. So on the skeleton, that I'm going over these, I'm going up here, and I'm going down here, okay, into here, massaging all these glute muscles on either side and stuff, okay? Okay, so once I do that, which can take quite a while when I'm really working on it, then I go to this. See, I've got all different sizes of these UVP poly pipes from the plumbing or the hardware store, and this size, see, this is a normal size of foam roller, but this size I use for more my lumbar spine, okay, and massaging my lumbar spine, and it does hurt without you could get a bit of cushioning, a bit of like a towel or something to make it softer, but it doesn't bother me these days. And what I'm doing here again is I'm trying to impart more flexibility in the lumbar spine and also up the spine. You see, you could use the larger foam roller, but I find that the smaller foam roller or the smaller diameter is just has a better effect on working on each vertebrae in the spine, and you know, accentuating the stretch of each vertebrae in the lumbar spine. And because what I really do is I'm kind of stretching over this thing, you know, and I'm stretching over it, and I am kind of changing the alignment of the spine too by doing this, and this hurts. And the other thing I can do is I stick my elbows here to stop the foam roller from, or stop the roller from moving, you know, and I can, okay, so that hurts quite a bit because I've got quite some stiff vertebrae in my lumbar spine, okay, which I believe is contributing to the long-term continual misalignment of my sacroiliac joints, okay? Okay, so once you do all that, and then you can, you know, go up your spine and do all that all the way up. But I generally also work on my spine another way, like I said, but like I said, they're a bit hard to do without aggravating the hips. I've been working on methods to do that because I believe that stretching is this upper spine is really important. Okay. Okay, so once we do that, then we go on to working finally on improving the alignment of the sacroiliac joints. And so really the way I do that is it's just an extension of working on this area, but now down over the sacroiliac joints and also up into the lumbar spine. But what I'm doing is basically, you can see here, I'm dropping my feet over one side. Let me just make it so you can see it a bit better. Okay. Dropping my feet over one side down and my back over the other side, so that my sacroiliac joints are at the apex or sitting right over the foam roller. Okay, but then I like move up and down, okay, like this, and I'm going to the lumbar spine with this, okay. Yes, Daddy, I love you too. I'm going to the lumbar spine with this foam roller, and then I'm going over the sacroiliac joints, and I just move from side to side like that, and I can use my arms again to brace the foam roller, and then I go down further down the sacroiliac joints, rolling and rolling my sacroiliac joints, okay, and all the way down. Okay, so I've got a limited space vertically that I can go up and down, but you get me, you get the drift. And it takes maybe, and you can also move your legs like this, because all the while that you're doing this, you really are directly affecting the alignment of the iliums and the way it sits in the sacrum. And when you're massaging the lumbar spine and all, and using this polypipe that I showed you before, you are improving the alignment. And when you work up into your lumbar spine with this foam roller, it is helping to improve the alignment of the sacrum and take the sacral torsion out of your sacrum, which also helps improve the overall alignment and stability of your sacroiliac joints and pelvis, you see. So, because like I said, when you've got this kind of scoliosis and compression in the spine, and when I say a torsion of the sacrum, I mean the sacrum is, you know, sitting at an angle. You see, it's not just sitting flat, straight, it's sitting like a torsioned, twisted. Like I said, working on this foam rolling the lumbar spine, that actually does kind of helps to untwist the sacrum, okay? And so when I'm foam rolling, I'm particular about also getting into this junction between the sacrum and the lumbar spine here, because this is the, you know, like I said, the sacrum I honestly think is quite dictated by what's going on in the lumbar spine. So when I work on that junction, I can, with the foam roller, you know, like I've just showed you, I feel that I can really effectuate a change. And so once you've been doing this foam rolling over the pelvis, like I just showed you, for quite a while, maybe 5 minutes or so, okay, over the sacroiliac joints yourself, and you're moving your legs like this, just like I said, to really, in your mind's eye, just keep thinking what your objective is to improve the alignment of your sacroiliac joints, okay? Okay, and then I go to that junction between the sacrum and the lumbar spine again, and I really work on that for a while, like that, and up and down, and the arms are very useful for doing this. And then I'll go to the lumbar spine and like I said, it's a bit of a different feeling with this big foam roller, but you know, it's all better than nothing to do a little bit. Okay, and then after you've done all that, you can check the alignment of your pelvis, okay, to see if you've got an improvement. So you go back to doing what I showed you before, where you get your feet together like this, okay, and you check your ASIS again, and literally I will keep doing this until my ASIS are sitting level, okay. I don't normally check this way because it's too much of a pain to get the mirror out and put it above me, okay, but just check to make sure they are sitting level on both sides now. And also check my knee heights, and I want to see that basically the left knee is the same height as the right knee, both in this position and when I pull back and check it in this position, okay? The knee height's in this position. Sorry, I know my videos aren't very professional, but that's cool. Just, you know, so long as it got the message. So yeah, so there we go. So that's how you can check to see if this has had a positive effect on the alignment of your sacroiliac joints, okay? Alright, so if you want me to talk to you about how to improve the alignment of my pubic symphysis in another video, just let me know and I will do that for you. Okay, well I hope that this video has been helpful, and see you later.